I actually, like a lot of young people my age at that time, used to dream about being in the Air Force and being a fighter pilot and stuff. But as I was growing in my teens and stuff, my father's an architect, right? He was quite passionate about the profession, and I used to see in his evenings and over the weekends he used to be doing some drawings and stuff. A couple of times I got a chance to go with him to those actual sites on our way probably for our outing over the weekends. And when I used to see and relate what he's doing, and how it's turning out to be a tangible product in front of me, I think that's where that was the start probably, or the germ of an idea or a thought on, wow, this profession has some value. That's what attracted me to it. So we've actually been very fortunate. We've got to learn from the masters from all across the globe. Yes, to name a few, like you mentioned, Mr. Bedmar and Marcio Kogan. So we've worked on a few projects with them here in Delhi only. So we'd actually collaborated with them for some projects here. I think as a start point, what they were doing was a progression to my thought process. We like very minimal, modern, understated architecture is generally what we try and do. And I think those two names that you took, they're the masters in that field. And they're the level, the few notches or many notches above what we thought. So it was a very good learning experience going through a couple of projects with greats like those, and that's what refined our designs, our sense of aesthetics further from what our thought was. But I think at some point, all of them and what my personal taste on architecture was on the same lines, and that is why probably that journey was very fruitful with them, and we got to learn quite a lot. In fact, it's the other way around. That's why I wouldn't be able to name one project. It was almost all the projects that you learn something new and try and see. Suppose you try and put in around 10 odd things into something, and maybe you're able to achieve 5 or 6 in one. The aim always is in the next project how we can try and achieve as much into it as possible. So we've been quite lucky. We've got projects and we've got clients who let us be, and we've been able to incorporate all those thoughts into the projects. I think they've got a very good range of product, and the range is quite good. Their minimal series is, I think, what we're using in a few of our projects, and it's working quite well. Like I said, we are minimalist, where we want to do it needs, the interiors and exteriors need to have a certain quietness to it. So we generally try and see where the frames and stuff of windows, they completely vanish, and the indoor outdoor is completely connected. And AluK, it's got a couple of projects which help us do that. The floors, the same flooring can run even over their sliders. The side jambs, they can be hidden to the walls how we like it, and the pieces are also hidden into the ceilings. So yeah, they are helping us get that minimal look. It's the right balance of a cost of the product against the actual design and elements that they are able to offer. There would be many more companies that we've worked with who are doing much more minimal sections of aluminium that they're able to sell, but they're at a different price band. So I think it's a good mix or a balance of the quality and the price, which fits into our design aesthetics. I guess that's what's pulled us towards AluK. The first thing, it would depend on what kind of a project it is. Like if it's a modern project, then yes, we need a minimal section which is least obtrusive in terms of views from inside to the outside, and the glazing itself doesn't become an element, right? The overall form is what is the hero of the project most of the time, and windows only are a medium which is gonna differentiate the indoor and the outdoor, and the glass helps us to combine both of them. So most of our projects that would be for the modern projects, that would be the basic requirement which is there. In today's day and age, the durability, the cost is a given. At our level, we would, if we go to any product for that matter, that is something which would be a given for us, that they'll be able to perform as they're supposed to. I would say there are smaller steps probably still to reach the final one. I'm still looking for one where we're able to do a perfect job. Like I said, every project that you do, you go back and then you think about it, what was good about it and what you could have done further to improve it. So yeah, still not satisfied. Still would want to keep progressing and trying to still get to my perfect project. that hunger is, I think, what drives you. If you feel that your last few projects were your best project, then you've got nothing further to look up to. And yeah, that's how it's been. I think every time I look at a project, I always see how we could have bettered it and how we can better it in the next one. And yeah, the journey is still on. Like I said, we do minimal, modern, luxury. Even in our neoclassical projects, there is a sense of a modernity to it. Color palette is very limited. It's just 2 or 3 color tones or materials is what we generally use because we're not maximalists. We're not using too many elements. So there is a certain set of elements that are there in most of our projects, and there's a certain set of colors and elements which are repeated over the whole process. I think it's the overall form and the connection between the indoor and outdoors is what plays the major role in most of our projects. Yes, absolutely, they have to be involved. That's my suggestion to all my clients also. The same thing, that all the elements before start of construction, ideally we need to decide on what kind of systems we're going to put in. They're very small details, like if you want to flush the floors, the sliders don't come in the way when you're walking from inside to the outside. You need to know each company's got a different depth of their section, different width of their section. So unless that company is finalized, you can actually not finalize where your thresholds are gonna be, what is the depth of those thresholds, how the corner junctions are coming in, is it a glass to glass joint, are there 2 different systems which are interacting at the corner. So those corners become a very important role. What kind of glass are actually you're using? Suppose you start off by using a DGU glass and finally you end up using only a single glass because of XYZ, whatever constraint, that affects the air conditioning load of the inside and the comfort level within that room. So yeah, unless all of these are decided beforehand, something or the other, there are chances of something or the other going wrong. The detailing that we do in our projects, those kind of things need to be decided on day 0 before even starting construction. The philosophy or the design philosophy and the process that we follow is same for all our projects. One, the client, which is the most important factor, especially for the residential projects, because they have to be actually living in their wish list, because it's gonna be their dream project. That's one bit of it, and the second bit of it is the context of the place, where the project's actually located, and putting all that together and putting our sense of aesthetics onto it, to create our version of that project which works for them. Most of the design is driven by myself. I like to be involved in most of our projects, and like I said, the context, the wish list of the client and the site itself is what gives us the initial thought on how to go about that project. And once the designs and the color palette is decided and the layouts are finalized, the overall look and feel again is something which is run over with the clients at the initial stage and even at the later stages. But once everything is decided, then it's up to the detailing team to pick up our standards and actually detail them out so that the construction work can happen at the site. each project is unique in those terms. Like we did a very neoclassical project a while ago, and our sense for glazings is still to have those minimal glazing. So even in that neoclassical project, we actually got a vendor and got him to do stainless steel, very thin slimline profiles in solid stainless steel, and then powder coated it to give that French classical kind of a feel to the project. So like I said, if the vision is clear on one day that this is the product that I'm looking at, then you look for vendors who are able to achieve that for you and bring them together to get the result. So each project you have to have those kind of set of vendors who can help you achieve that product in the end. So yeah, some places it might be this. Suppose I'm working in the hills and I'm doing a typical wooden architecture, so there's a lot of wood and metal which gets involved. So sometimes instead of using aluminium as a glazing, we use wooden frames as a glazing to go with the overall scheme of things. So each project, how you design it and what it requires, the vendors are selected accordingly. Every time there is a briefing, when we sit down with the vendor, we explain them, run them through the design, run them through the overall concept and philosophy of that project, and so that they are aligned to it altogether. I think, like I said, it's the passion for the project and the passion to probably keep evolving and keep improving on with each project. I think that's the drive probably. I think they need to take a lot more inputs from architects in terms of what they're missing at that scale and level, right? Like I said, there would be companies, aluminium companies, facade companies, who at a X cost, they're able to achieve a lot of things. So I think AluK needs to get those inputs from architects to say where they can improve and what they can do, so that within that cost, we're able to get the best. All our projects, in fact, there are a few projects even before IGBC green building norms and stuff came in, and the first project that we probably applied for, our standards that we follow in the office automatically fell into that zone, and the rating was given. So we didn't have to go out of the way to try and do those kind of things. So things like solar power inside those residential or any hotel projects that we do. You're talking about rainwater harvesting, reusing all of that water. Those are certain standards which are built in, and it actually starts from the day we start planning of the project, which is to do with how to orient the building. A lot of times Vastu plays a very important role. We use it as a helpful tool for our projects because the criteria in Vastu and architecture is actually same. They're both the same things, especially in Delhi. Like, you want to keep your larger glazings towards north, which it doesn't get the heat into the building. So it starts off from where the orientation of the building is, where you're keeping the larger glasses, where you're keeping the smaller openings, and we're keeping more solids on that area. That's where I think at the planning level it starts, and then it keeps going on in terms of, like I said, solar, electrical, trying to utilize natural sources and resources in the project. Most of the time, if you can tell them the cost benefits of probably trying to go with the solar panel thing, or how you can save on your electricity bills in that sense. Similarly with water, if you're trying to recycle, you put up a STP, sewage treatment plant, and actually recycle and use that water for your gardening, even though you're not using it back into the house. It's a saving for you. Once you make them understand that saving, I think their clients are becoming intelligent. They catch on to it quick. Loads of new things which keep coming, especially like we've done certain corner openable things. Sometimes you have a corner and you've got a very nice view over it, and you don't want windows to be stacked at both corners, trying to obstruct those views. So you've got panels which can go across the corner and be stacked on one place, cleaning up, again trying to align the inside and the outside both. Again, indoor sliders which are there, we don't see any tracks. It's like a no track slider which are there. There are pocket doors which are there. So lots of things which are happening. I see very large. We've done 20 feet high shutters on hinges, which are possible these days. So yeah, technology is playing a big role and helping us think beyond what things could have been done probably 10 years back. It's a tricky one. most of the clients, they do not have a fixed budget to start off with. They generally go by instincts. I guess at least in the projects that we're working on, they go by their instincts in terms. So it gets a little tricky sometimes trying to balance that out. But yes, we have a certain list of preference that these are definitely a no-no, where we are not going to negotiate or change anything. But there would still be certain things where we can probably get the same effect with a more economical material than we go about doing it. So you can't be 100% rigid when you're doing these kind of projects. So then you play along, but the idea is, again, the final product should still, that's still our responsibility to give them the final product, which is up to the level of aesthetics that we've actually started off with. As again the technology is growing, there are new materials which are coming out in the market, which is actually helping us think beyond. So when you see, suppose a vendor comes in and they're showing us new fabrics or new materials which are now possible, that gets your thought process going, where you can start thinking how that product could be used very differently. I'll tell you at the start, probably I think loads years back, I walked into a hardware shop and I was looking at a particular pull handle, and the vendor had actually got the handle that I liked put in a very different way. So for him, that was not supposed to be a pull handle. It was supposed to be something else, as an angle or something else. It's just the vision. When I walked in and I said that this is the handle that I want, she said, no, so this is not an handle. So I said, no, if you put it this way and it pulls, it does the job, and I like it aesthetically, so why can't it work? That's when he started to think that, oh yeah, this can also be used in it. So it's a matter of your vision on how you can actually use a particular product, in what form, and bring all of that together, I guess, which is what gives that uniqueness to each project. I think in the day where AI is becoming a big thing and talk, your personal take, your personal sense, your personality, your thought process, and your visualization, which is pure in terms of what you would think or how you would approach a certain problem or a design. I think keeping with that uniqueness, like each individual is unique, if you keep that individuality and that uniqueness, I think that's what will help you grow in this. In fact, not in this field, in any field for that matter.